Hello, hello. Good morning, lovely people. Well, evening where you are. I just wanted to come on here and do this quick live in the post election. I know a lot of people are concerned with some of the things that they see, and I've been getting a lot of emails. I made a post on my community page yesterday. Um, you know, I don't think people can really see or are sensitive or have dug deep enough into history to understand where we are in history right now as far as African Americans living in the United States. I'm speaking directly to my African American people who are still living in the United States. I am no longer living in the United States. If you're seeing me for the first time, I am here in Tanzania. My name is Renee. This channel was established to promote and share ideas of repatriation to Africa. And I know that is not a reality for many people, for most people, but it is a reality for a lot of us. Um, and unfortunately, during the time of COVID-19, a lot of people left and a lot of people went back to the United States. And that to me was a result of not running to Africa, but running from America. And in my case, I was running to Africa and all that Africa had to offer, and the humanity and the dignity and the peace of mind and the sunrise and the vitamin D and the quality of food and just a place where my mind could set and be at peace. That was what I was in search of. I was not necessarily running from all that was in America. Even though I left America, I knew that was not the place for me. I'm an immigrant. I migrated from Jamaica, lived in America for over 20 years, and recognized myself in America as an African American woman. And so this is going to put me right into the conversation that I want to have with you for those of you who are still in the United States. Whatever you have, whatever you can have tangible, you need to start preparing yourself for what is to come. A few weeks ago, days ago, I did a live, and I said, it's time to go. I don't want to talk about what I've seen, what I see in my mind, but I would implore you to leave now. So for those of you who don't do any deep dive in history or do any research in history, I'm going to share some information with you. My personal interest in World War II was my grandfather was conscripted by Great Britain. He served in the Royal Air Force. So I was interested in learning more about why would this Jamaican guy end up flying planes in the United Kingdom. And so I'd learned more, and probably more than I should know, of World War II and all of the things that led to my grandfather ending up fighting for Great Britain. Okay, so let me just jump right into the title. That I titled this 1934 Germany, because in 1934 Germany, this is where the German people made a mistake. They made a very key mistake. They merged the office of the chancellor and the president together. And then they voted in a person who would have absolute power. And, we find ourselves in a very similar place. And I'm going to continue to say we, because I'm an observer of history. I am having this experience with you. I am watching this experience happen from afar. And I'm taking notes and I'm taking details. So I'm in this experience with you. In fact, the whole world is in this experience with you. The whole world who who is looking on is in shock and horror as what is happening in the United States right now. And why is this relevant to African American people? Is you need to get it into your head that you are living in a broken system. You've always been living in a broken system, and they have just gone back to factory default, okay? They have just gone back to resetting the defaults. The defaults in your system is slavery. The defaults in your system is a country for only white people. The defaults in your system is where Black people and white people do not have equality. Those are the defaults in the United States of America. So let's go to 1934 Germany. We were talking about the consolidation of the office of Chancellor and President, giving he who shall remain nameless absolute power. Okay, when he was voted in, he made a sweeping changes in the in Germany. Okay, number one of those changes, there is a system in Germany, a lot of people don't know, it's called Lebensborn, which means the fountain or fountain of life or fountain of youth. And Lebensborn was a program ran by the German SS party. And what they did, pretty much, it was a baby farm. What they wanted to do was to boost Germany's child rate. And so they had women somehow, somehow, I am not going to say how, but somehow the fertile Aryan people who they preferred to be the champions, or they preferred these women to be the mothers, somehow they would all fall pregnant. And while they all fell pregnant, they became part of the state. The state had an organization that would take them in. They were unmarried, pregnant women, and these were the fertile fruits of the nation. And so they were brought in. And when they were brought in into the SS system, after they had their baby, the baby was conscribed or prescribed or adopted into an SS family, or a family that they recognized to be having all of the racial qualities and racial values, and so that they could raise up this beautiful society with the people who looked how they wanted their people to look. Okay, now let's look at where we are now in 2025. And this happened under another president of the United States. We have, but the people who put those judges in place were put in place 4 years before the last president. So this current president that you have just had sworn in had put Supreme Court judges and Congress people in place so that they would be able to overturn certain things in the United States. Number one, abortion is illegal, and the right to contraception and the right to certain things that women need in order to be productive members of society, to have control over their fertility. They decided to overturn Roe v. Wade. They decided to get rid of a woman's right to choose. They decided to get rid of Planned Parenthood. They decided to get rid of those things because they need, of course, to boost the population. Okay, stick with me, people. I'm getting there. I promise you, I'm getting there. Okay, so already we have this mirror between the Lebensborn and the overturn of Roe v. Wade. The intention is to boost the population of a certain type of people. Okay, now being that the white women in the United States are the majority, these people are the ones that they're targeting, because if you're the majority of anywhere, then naturally you're going to have the most use of any particular service because you are the majority. So if you have 100 people in one place and you have 10 people and there is a service offered, naturally the general population, that 90 people is going to use the services more than the 10 people are there. And so when it comes to the Roe v. Wade overturn, and it comes to taking away Planned Parenthood and taking away a woman's right to choose in contraception, when it comes to that, they're targeting specifically white women without even saying that out loud. They need to have white women have as many babies as possible because they need to reenact that Lebensborn. They need to boost the population and to make sure that that browning and blacking of America does not occur. Okay, go and Google the browning of America. All right, so we're 10 minutes in, and let's continue. So the next thing that I want people to be concerned about is it's multi-layered, but I don't think people really generally understand the interplay and the interrelationship between the dismantling of the Equal Employment Opportunity Declaration. I don't think people understand that dismantling the EEOC and the mass deportation, how they're interlinked. So let me break it down to you. You might think that deporting Jesus and deporting Maria and deporting all of the Mexicans and the Latino people who pick our fruits and who clean the bathrooms and who provide services that African Americans don't want to do, or who people believe, they don't see the interrelation. So let me ask you something. When them send back Jose, Jesus, and Maria, when they send them back, or when they start deporting them, or when they start removing that labor force, because the key issue is the majority of employers cannot find employees to fill certain roles. They cannot find employees to fill roles in restaurants. There is a restaurant crisis. There's a labor crisis in restaurants. There is a labor crisis in food. There is a labor crisis in farming. There is a labor crisis in construction. So when you remove the number one labor force that the construction, food, and restaurant is dependent on, one of the things them people that gonna come from when them remove the EOC. When they remove the Equal Employment Opportunity, and no African American can get a job because the Equal Employment Opportunity has been removed. Okay, where do you think this is going? You don't see that this is a slippery slope. This is taking you straight back down to the plantation. You don't see that you're going back into sharecropping. You don't see that you're the ones who are going to be in the bathroom cleaning the toilets. You don't see that you're the ones who are going to be the nannies again. You don't see that you're the ones that they want back picking cotton. You don't see that you're the ones that they want back. They need you back in those places. They want you back in those places so that they can have a hegemony, a kind of construct in their society where white people are always at the top and you're always at the bottom, because they know you have never healed from slavery. They know you never got out of that socioeconomic bondage that came after 400 years of slavery, another 80 years of Jim Crow, and all of the disenfranchisement that came with it all the years after, from redlining and everything else in between. They know you never recovered from that. So when they remove the only protections that you have to guarantee you education, to guarantee you employment of merit and of value, when they start denying you those jobs, what do you think? Where do you think you're going to go? The only jobs that are going to be available to you are the jobs that the Mexicans don't want are the jobs that the Mexican people cannot have because they have been leaving the country in droves. Okay, so get ready for the plantation because they have done everything in their power to cleanse. And I dare you, this is going to age so well. Look back at this 1 year from now and tell me how many jobs you got with your master's degree, and tell me if you were not because that EEOC was repealed, that your employer isn't going to look at you and say, well, you know, we hired you because of the special circumstances, and now the special circumstances are no longer in play, and it is legal for us to terminate you because at this point in time we don't need an employee in your role, in your position, and you can't do anything about it. You have no federal recourse, you have no civil recourse, you cannot go to any judge, you cannot go to the Supreme Court, no one can overturn it because the EEOC was removed. It is not just about that speciality and exceptionalism. It's not just about that. It's not being removed just because the level field is so playing. It is a control system. It is about removing you out of the opportunities that they believe white people should have, and moving you back into the position that they believe the Mexicans should not have because they're illegal, and they've removed birthright citizenship. So that means that if someone is born in the United States, they can go back and decree. They can probably even make this retroactive. They can go back and decree and say, well, hey, look, y'all you African Americans, you have Africa in your title. You're gonna have to prove that your great grandmammy wasn't born in America. Because if she was born somewhere else, you don't belong here no more. You belong in the country where you come from. And that large void and vast chasm that's going to be left by driving people out of the United States will be filled by white people. That's what they want. Okay, so if I've been saying to y'all, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, but you're so lulled to sleep between the dumbness that you're watching on Netflix, the stupidity that they're pushing down your throat on the news, and you are so, it's inconceivable. They would never do that. Well, they've done it. They've done it and they're doing it. And as the words are coming out of my mouth, I don't have internet bands to waste. I am telling you what your country is doing to you. Open your eyes, use your critical thinking. If they chase out all the Mexicans and they remove the EOC, where is the new labor force going to come from? It's you. It's you who you're the first in your family to go to college. Well, what do you do? You're also going to be the first in your family to go back to slavery because that's what the EEOC removal is going to do. You don't understand the ramifications of what you're seeing. You think that you live in some kind of bubble where everything is happening to everybody else except for you. You think that they're deporting all of these immigrants and all of these Mexicans and everybody else. They're chasing them out of the United States, and it's gonna be peachy for you because finally I can get a job. You're gonna get the job that you don't want, that you can't take. You're gonna get the job that can't provide you with income. You're gonna get the job that is going to demean you and humiliate you and put you in the lower forms of society. That's what they want. That's why they're chasing out the Mexicans. That's why they're repealing the EOC. That is the reason why they're doing all that they're doing, because they want to put you back in your place. You don't belong in the place that you have. And if they can repeal birthright citizenship in the United States of America, oh Lord, if they can repeal birthright citizenship in the United States of America, why do you think they won't go back as far as they possibly can to tell you black folk that have been tracing your ancestry to Ghana, to Liberia, to all of these places in Africa, because you already have it in your name and have it in your recognition? Why do you think they're not going to go back as far as they can to get you out? Because if your parent was illegal at the time of your birth, which they can say you were property. They can always say you were property or your ancestor was property. You know why? Because they never gave you reparations. They never recognized your humanity. They never accepted you as equal. They never signed into law the Voting Rights Act. It has always been left open for any kind of interpretation. The Supreme Court judges are in place to make sure that these things happen to the script. You have no protections. While you still have a passport, get out of there. Get out of there. 1934 Germany was followed up not too long after by the mass deportations. Yes, but before that there was something called Kristallnacht, the night of the broken glass in 1938. And this is where we are now, where they decided that, okay, something went wrong here and we're going to go ahead and fix it. We're going to go ahead and attack these here people. What protections do you have now? Where is your Civil Rights Act? Did someone sign that? Where is your protection? Do you have birthright citizenship? Where, I'm asking you, where is your protection? Get out of there, man. Get out of there. Get out. Pick up yourself and get out. Go into the wilderness. Get out. Go to Canada. Go somewhere. Get out of there. Go somewhere and try some life elsewhere. Go somewhere. Go to Africa. Go somewhere else. Because this is serious, and I don't think y'all taking this serious enough. This is the frog in the pot. They turn up the fire a little bit. They turn up the fire a little bit. And a little bit and a little bit. Ease by ease. They want to see how much they can get away with. But y'all are so asleep. Your entire intuition has been null and dumbed down. Okay, right now it's about survival. File for asylum in Switzerland. File for asylum in Australia. File for asylum. You are a refugee. Damn it. File for asylum. You are a refugee. You are a foreigner in a strange country. That is not your country. No of the privileges, none of the rights that you should enjoy as an American citizen is being provided to you. You are in danger. And if you can't feel it, I can feel it all the way over here at the edge of the Indian Ocean in Tanzania. I can feel it for you. You are in danger. Do you not understand that? You are in danger. Why do you think they're building up all of these prison populations? Check into what they call the concentration camps. Look in your constitution. Slavery is legal. It is legal if you are incarcerated. What do you think all those prisons are doing? They're making cheap clothes and that they turn around and dump in Africa. What do you think they are doing? Look carefully at what they're doing. Didn't also the Nazi, they created they created their own Right Nature Protections Act, and acknowledging the atrocities of environmentalism, deforestation over farming. And here we have somebody in 2025 talking about drill, baby, drill. Do you know what that means? That meanwhile, everywhere, everybody else in the world is scrambling to reduce their greenhouse emissions. And this is why one of them are hypocrites. The president of the Alphabet company or Google or whatever you want to call it, the president of Amazon, all of these people have signed on to their environmental credit systems and this, that, and we can do this to offset the environment. But they're supporting someone who is saying drill, baby, drill, meaning they're opening all of the national reserves, all of the national parks and forests to drilling. Do you not understand? You don't get it? I don't think you see it. Maybe I'm seeing too much, but I don't think so. Now, for you people, and I'm a Jamaican, and don't come and get me for this. Okay, but I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it because though I'm a Jamaican born and bred, I have different views when it comes to people and their same-sex relationships. My views are I don't give a damn. Okay? I really don't particularly give a damn what anybody else want to do with them body with whoever them want to do it with. That is for them business, not my business. Okay? As long as them don't bring it to me, I'm all right. But as long as they're human beings living and breathing upon this planet that we depend on, that we need to survive. We need all of everybody to survive. We need black people. We need the alphabet people. We need all of them. Okay, whether we like it or not, we need it. That is the reality. Humans are humans. Period. Point blank. Full stop. Okay. So when them come out with these terrorizing statements against the people, them were like other people will look just like them. Read between the lines. Rainbow people. Because you see we're out, and I have to code everything because now we have censorship. We're having censorship. You are living in a censored society. Me live in Africa. See that? Me lives out my window is the Indian Ocean. Me Africa, me there. But I feel it so gravely. I feel it so deeply. I feel it so much. And because I'm living the experience. Because it is a part of my identity and my culture. I spent 20 years in your country. I had to recognize myself by that same EEOC as, are you African American? I had to recognize that. Okay? So, me feel it deeply when me look and me hear somebody say that there are only two kinds of people. So listen carefully. If you married anybody of the same orientation as you don't have a husband. You don't have your wife. You don't have any children. They are going to repeal it. They're coming for it. They're coming for it. Again, they've gone back to 1934 Germany. And let me tell you what 1936 Germany said in the German criminal code. They imprisoned 100,000 men in the gas chambers. They sent them off. So when they go back and they repeal all of this, and y'all can't leave your ways alone because you spend all this time trying to find your identity, and now that you found your identity and your voice, they're going to criminalize it. They're going to criminalize it. And you know how they're going to criminalize it? Based on rumors. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. They're just going to say, well, me here say Tom over there so, like Jacob over there so, and, seemed up on social media. Yes, I him that. Lock him up. Listen, I don't think y'all people really understand the ramifications of what's coming on, okay? As even you Jamaican people, and you African American people who are homophobic and all of them something there, most of wanna have people in a family that gonna recognize to be so. Okay? And many even more know people who are so. And they're decent human beings. I haven't met one that treat me any kind of way or was nasty to me or was mean to me. I haven't met that kind of person. Okay? So based on a human level, right? I mean, I really want to say nothing to nobody. I really don't want to see anything happen to people, and they are coming to criminalize. Oh no! If there are people in your life who you care about, or people in your life who you have met, or people in your life who you know us up, and if they have at any point in time been kind to you or said kind things to you, made you laugh, made you think about life, said things the way you never thought it could be said, and have you look at society in a different way, then they're coming after your humanity. It isn't just them. So we need to stop this disassociation. This cognitive disassociation where, well, it's not happening to me, so it's affecting you. It is directly affecting you. And I can tell you people, you black people born in America, you black people born in Jamaica, you black people born in the Caribbean, you black people born in Africa, if you are living in the United States of America, you are an endangered species. Okay, based on all the things, the glorious and magnificent things that I have said to you here, you need to peak. Okay, you do not know when the next foot is falling. Mass deportation in the state. I think it's only about the Mexicans. It's not about the Mexicans. It's all about you. You. All about you. All about you. The Constitution is a race control document. Okay? Your entire voting through precincts and all of these things is a race control document. You are holding jobs, you're holding opportunities, you're doing things that your grandparents, great-great-grandparents could have never even thought of, dreamed of. You're sitting in jobs that they want. So they're going to move you out of those jobs. They're going to move you out of those jobs and move you out of the opportunities for your children to come and claim and take those jobs. Okay, so they can say, I think that it's all about Mexicans, or it's all about it's about them, it's not about me, it's about you. Let me see what the comments are saying. Okay, Tanzania, but does that mean, somebody said, so Queen Nubia said Tanzania doesn't play the alphabet people, they don't play that. They don't play, but you know what they do play? Human dignity. As long as you're not wiping it in them face, as long as you're not walking down the street holding hands and doing all kind of something, they don't play certain things. Let me show this. They don't play certain things, but they play human dignity. And I can tell you, they're not running down and snatching people and locking up people just for that, because nobody is like out there like flamboyant or whatever. So where I live, you don't have to live where I live, but there are places like Ghana and South Africa that does. Okay, so no, they don't recognize the alphabet people, but they recognize human dignity. Let me see. Okay, hold on. How many people do I think like that, especially black people? More than you know. I don't know. But all me know said, all I can tell you is y'all living in a version of the Twilight Zone. If you don't realize what is happening, you're living in a version of the Twilight Zone called denial. It's not just a river in Africa, it's where you're living psychologically. And for those of you who are not living in the Twilight Zone, you are living in Groundhog Day. You are living in a repeat version of what you call it, of Nazi Germany 1934. So una can stay there. This is serious stuff. Okay, go and look on the news. Go and see how many people are fleeing. Where do you think those jobs are going to go? What do you think is going to happen to those jobs? I mean, I just want you to understand what you're looking at when you see it. It's not a puzzle. It's not a puzzle. Okay, it's not a puzzle, and it shouldn't be that hard to decipher. It's not a puzzle. It's serious. Let me see something here, right? Oh, I'll go on here. So, okay, yeah, it's not a puzzle. It's serious. It is serious. It is something y'all need to be taking serious. So all of these things, they are defaulting to the machine is broken. The American machine is broken. It's broke. It's as broke as it's ever going to be. It's as broke. Yes, it's broke. The economy is not working. None of it is working, especially in a post-COVID-19 pandemic. So when the machine is broken, what does the machine do? It defaults to factory settings. Your factory setting is slavery and racism and controlling women. They need to go back to the time. That's what the factory setting said in 1776. The factories. This is what the factory had in 1776. This is the settings on the machine. The settings on the machine were black people, slaves, white women, slaves, couldn't vote. Neither of these two people couldn't vote. So black people can't vote. White women can't vote. It was a white male dominated society. Yes. And education was only for white male. Okay, these are the factory settings. And the plantation, the labor force was black people. And white people had control over the labor force. So white men in control. Okay, so these are your 76 factory settings, and they need it to go back there. That is the origin of the machine, okay? And there was no such thing as contraception or birth control. Nope. So they were just having as many white babies as possible so that they could populate all the land that they stole from the Indians. And what else did they have? Yeah, so they had all their white babies. So what else? What else did they have? They ain't had no problem with Mexico. As a matter of fact, half of the country was Mexico anyway. So there were no Mexicans. They could just kill the Mexicans or kill the people, the native people, the Mexicans, the Indians, anybody that was giving them problems. They could just round up a posse and go on out there with their guns and shoot them Indians with their bows and arrows, and they could just cleanse them off the land that they can have it for themselves. Let me tell you something. You see, when someone kills, murders, ethnically cleanses an entire country to have control of the land and the resources, never expect those people to give up, to go down without a fight. This is their fight, okay? And I'm trying to convey to you the danger that you are in. They need you out of the position and the places that you're in. You Africans in America, you African Americans in America, you Indians in America, you Chinese in America, you Caribbean people in America, anybody who pack up them donkey cat and move, go America, said I'm live in America, and yes, this is where I'm living and where I'm working, you are in danger. All of you people, all of you, every single one of you, every single one of you, you're in danger. You think you went to America on some kind of visa or some kind of work permit or something, and you get married, you send for a wife, you have a baby, and now you're raising that child. Or some of you are that child who have grown up and been able to find jobs and opportunities. If at that point in time your parent was not an American citizen, they can, they're repealing your citizenship. That is serious. Okay. Okay. And it doesn't matter if it's legal or not, or to say so, to say it is. Okay. So what does that have to do with 1934 Germany? If you're just joining me, I was saying earlier that my grandfather was a World War II RAF fighter. So for me, I have been researching and, just getting very curious about Germany because I wanted to know why this man left Jamaica to go fight in the RAF. And there was a lot of things that I see happening, that I see a lot of correlations. Number one, with the SS Lebensborn, where, racially qualified white women were a part of the state, and they were having all these babies, and the children were adopted or assigned by the SS. And then we have the Roe v. and all of that was through population, was for population boosting and growth of population. And we have the comparison of Roe v. Wade in the United States. We have the mass deportation, which also is a part of the SS strategy, and that came after Kristallnacht in 1934. We also have the EEOC repeal, which is correlated to directly. I don't want you to think that it is me who is making the connection. I need you to understand that it is a direct correlation between the mass deportation and the EEOC, because when you remove all of those people, out of those jobs, and then you African American people are holding those jobs of high income, dignity, and esteem, you can absolutely expect that they want to force you back on the plantation and put you in the positions and in the job needs that a lot of the labor force and a lot of the employers are saying that they don't have employees to fill. So when they remove your rights, they can also remove you from the job that you're holding, and they can give you a list of jobs. You go down to your employment career center, and your job next is going to be picking strawberries on a field in California. Your job next is going to be picking some cotton down in Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia. Your next job is going to be cleaning toilets and mopping floors in a restaurant, because you are the next most invaluable labor force. And that's why they need you people to not have your EEOC privileges. And those things are directly correlated. So I need you to stand 10 toes down and do whatever you need to do to stop these mass deportations. I need whatever power you have to come together and to create petitions to stop this EEOC or whatever he signed. He has to repeal it. It has to be torn up. It is not constitutional. It is illegal. And also the birthright citizenship, the denial of birthright citizens, people who were born in the United States to immigrant parents who were legal or illegal at the time. This is going to be, this is the end, okay? It's the end. They know it's the end. The country been done. They know it's done. Okay? Because I don't know where they think the people are going to come from to fight in their wars. Because immigrants have more children, right? Immigrants have, the military has so many immigrants in it. The military itself has so many immigrants in it. So I don't know where they think these people are going to come from. They think it's going to come from their Lebensborn, their naturally white people who are inherently valuable for their society. They don't know where ingenuity and ideas come from. It comes from immigrants. They think that they're going to create an all-out war against their citizens, and it's going to be, it's going to be great. They're going to create all these tariffs and all of these things that are going to, make America great. No, it's not. It's only going to pass the buck on to you. You're going to have to pay more. And now let's go deep into the economy. Okay? If you don't understand the economy, let me explain it to you. Okay? We have a contracting dollar. Okay? When they start moving the jobs back overseas, back to America, when they start moving those jobs back, if they can do such a thing, because you can't force corporations to do that, but if they can bring the jobs back to America, what you're going to have happen is the cost of goods are going to go up, of course. The same thing with tariffs. The cost of goods are going to go up. In fact, most of the jobs that are in Asia and that have been sent away, those are not product-based jobs. A lot of it is intelligence-based jobs. So a lot of it, the customer service for the banks, the customer service for the card companies, the customer service for a lot of these are actually service-based jobs. And what are they going to do? Tariff a telecommunication center? They cannot. So most of the jobs that people are depending on or need to come back, those jobs are never coming back. And that happened under George W. Bush. Okay. So the decline has been declining. All right. So let's just say they can bring some manufacturing jobs to America. Let's just say the AI and the robots don't exist, because if they do bring those jobs back, you better believe it's going to be back with automation. Okay, we're living in the automation age. We're not in the 1950s. We're bringing those jobs back is going to make a difference. So when the automation comes in and Where are the factory jobs? Who is actually going to get those jobs? Okay, let's say forget automation. No automation. We're in 1950s America. Forget the service jobs. They bring the jobs back. Do you know how much it is going to cost to produce the good in America? Okay, that is going to drive the cost of the dollar. And then peg that dollar, not backed by gold, and then peg that against the BRICS dollar that is coming out. Your hyperinflation is going to be unnatural. The tariffs that they're talking about is going to be unnatural. And then the little old jobs that the Mexicans ran off and left that they want you to fill, that's why they're taking away your equal employment opportunity. They're taking it away from Blacks and women, because those two have been the population that has been increasing in strides the most. So now when they take that, where do you think y'all gonna go? How do you think you're gonna live? You are already living in a foreign country. Do not be afraid. Child, don't be afraid of what you don't know. What you don't know could be better. There are many places in this world that is much better than the United States. If you think you're making all that money, sit and calculate how much of that money goes back into the expense of just breathing American air. Think of all the taxes and the excessive taxes and all that you have been paying just to survive in there. And then all of these cultural and social disenfranchisement layered on top of that. You are shortening your lifespan by spending time in that place. It is not productive to you. Removing birthright citizenship is not just about the Latin and the people. They're going to go back and remove that for some of y'all as well. And where can they start? Where can they find that information? Oh, that's in your genealogy. They're gonna come. They're gonna come. In their mind, their country has been taken advantage of by too long for foreigners. And so you think, yeah, let's vote for the Great Orange because that's gonna save us. It's not. Do you not understand what you have done? Do you not realize where this is going? Well, I shared as much as I could. I said as much as I could. I did it live because I know what Americans are now under censorship. So with that censorship, you're going to have a lot of issues. Let me see who the comments are. Yeah. Yep. Here we go. So Calc D says, need to create your own businesses. Let me see. Okay. So Queen Nubia, you're right. Right? Having a business is where it's at. Now, having a business is where it's at. But when you think of your primary consumer, so you see African Americans and African American women especially start businesses at a higher rate than anyone else. Okay, so I'm not going to detract from that. I'm not going to tell you don't start a business or this, that, and the third. But let's go back to 1938, where they said Kristallnacht, where what they did, they went in and destroyed those businesses. They destroyed the Jewish businesses. They destroyed everything that the Jews had built in Germany over generations. I'm not talking about the Jews that they put in the gas chamber and carted off and forced them into concentration camps. Them people didn't just arrive the week before. Them people that was in Germany for generations. They were German citizens. Their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, their parents' parents, their parents' parents beyond their parents. And what did they do? They removed birthright citizenship, rounded them up, and gave them the gas chamber and concentration camp, starting in 1938 with destroying their businesses, destroying their education, destroying their opportunities, and driving them out and making them wear a big old star upon them chests. So yes, starting a business is good. It's where it's at. Starting a business, of course, you need to start a business. But what I'm trying to explain to you is you're moving around the deck chairs on the friggin' Titanic. The ship is sinking. The ship sink. It's gone. It's sunk. And you need to hold on to your intuition, your animalistic intuition. Sum all of these things up that you are seeing, make them into one consolidated thought and say, what does this mean? Because you only hear about this and hear about that, but until the shit hits the fan and lands on your doorstep, you're not gonna get it. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. Get thee up on out of there. Get out of there. Okay, so Kalkisi says you need to start your business own outside of America. That's what I have done. I've created a company here in Tanzania. We can offer residency to the people who are investing in our company. I've done everything that I think I can possibly do on my own as a person who doesn't need to do the things that I've done to try to create opportunity for Tanzanians and opportunity for my people who choose to leave the West and come and try to start life in Tanzania. That's what I've done. Okay. And so I think I've done as much as I could possibly do on my own. I think I've done as much as I possibly can do with what I was given and with what was meted out to me. Okay. And a lot of you people in the West, you're looking at America going, poor America. Oh my gosh. Look at what's happening in America. Do you see what's happening in the United Kingdom? Do you see what's happening in other countries? This is a protocol. This is a system. This is all coming into place. It is all by design. It is organized. It is all by design. Okay, they don't want you there. They're doing everything in their power to make sure you cannot survive there. They're doing everything in their power to make sure your children will not survive there. You can go ahead and start a company and a business and, eke out a little living and, make yourself secure and say, well, that's them. It's not me. It's nothing is going to happen to me. You don't know what's going to happen to your children after you pass on. So why leave them that legacy of doubt and confusion? Why leave them that legacy? Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Queen Nubia. We got to figure something out. We got to figure something out. We have to figure something out because these platforms, there's so many censorship happening. And I'm trying to say this to you now on a live because I know that they've been digging my account for stupid things. Like they've been digging my account because I said you can make baby food out of sea moss. Okay. And they've been, I don't understand. It's something I did. It's something my culture does. So I don't really understand what is going on, but there's a lot of censorship and a lot of things. And so when you have the President of the United States, the office of the President of the United States at the inauguration, all of the social media, the wealthiest people in the whole entire world, all of the owners of social media from TikTok all the way down to Google and everyone in between who has any kind of influence and control over the public opinion. When you have those things in place and then you start to say certain words and they're triggered or they're censored, then you realize that it's going down. Okay, it's going down because they're preventing people from communicating with each other to share that y'all are in danger. Okay, so don't look at these mass deportations and the EEOC as two separate things. It is one link in a chain. Fight me in the comments. Fight me by emailing me, telling me that I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. I know I'm right because they wouldn't waste any kind of money on doing what they're doing. They wouldn't waste their money on that. They wouldn't waste their time and their energy on that, on the EEOC. What does that have to do with anything? It is so uh, repulsive and unconscionable that it's so flagrantly and unconscionable for a society that is attempting to rebuild itself after slavery, after Jim Crow, after all the negative racial issues in the country, that to repeal EEOC at such a critical time that you have to look at it closer with a magnifying glass. What is that? Why would you do that? Why do it now? Because all of these things are interlinked together. They're not separate. They're all a part of one system that will feed each other. If you study anything in economics, you need to have that triangle. You need to have, okay, this is the base, and this is going to feed the next tier on the triangle, and this is going to feed the next tier of the triangle, and then this is the pinnacle of what we're trying to achieve. And so all of these things work to policy to create this environment, to create this one targeted policy that they're trying to do. They're trying to bring back white supremacy in any way they possibly can. And so they're looking at everything that they can do to put the Black people at that base of that pyramid, because the Latinas, the Mexicans were in the way. EEOC was in the way. So what did they do? Okay, we're gonna start deporting these people and take away their birthright citizenship. Even though they were born in America, they have no right to be here. That is number one. And number two, we're gonna go ahead and remove the EEOC. So we're gonna send these Black folks back down to the plantation where they belong, get them out of the office and put them back in rags and chains and put them down on that plantation. Let them go pick the tomatoes and the strawberries. Let them go and clean the toilets. Let them go and be out of our sight and out of our way, so we can now have the opportunity to put our people in place. And if you don't also realize that there is also a referendum going on now about people who are unqualified to hold to hold jobs in the federal government. I'm gonna tell y'all something. To hold a job in the United States federal government, you do not need to have a college degree. I don't think many people know that. There are certain roles. I'm not saying you don't need a college degree for NASA. You certainly do. But the normal everyday job, even the people that you see in Congress, there is nothing in the Constitution that says that they must have a tertiary level education. And there are a bunch of people, not a bunch. Do you know that in the federal government, look at me very, 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 very carefully. Do you know in the federal government that there are people, white folk, some Black people too, a lot of Black people, that before they even leave high school, they know that they're going into the federal government. All they have to do is take a test, and they're hired right into high school. Right from high school into the federal government, and everything is they're learning on the job. They go through certain training and they go through certain qualification tests, and they have to get those marks in order to achieve that job. And that is the pipeline from high school into a federal job. So when they come out with this, oh, we're gonna start looking at people who are unqualified for the jobs that they have, and we're going to turn around and see what we can do and they're coming to push you out on a federal job. That them I said, they're telling you, so you're not qualified to hold that job because you don't hold this or you don't hold that. And I hope to God, especially you Black people, took the opportunity to go and better yourselves, and then never just leave high school and go and sit on into the federal government and think, yes, I have my big work, everything nice, everything crisp, my good, I have my house, my land and my car. Well, if you didn't go and better yourself and improve your education, well, like I said, the federal government does not ask for degrees. they ask for certain aptitude tests, and you cannot be qualified to a secondary level job if you did not take that aptitude test to get into that next level job, right? So I really don't know who they're talking to, but I know what they're going to do if they've removed EEOC legally. They're going to come down and say, well, based on the EEOC qualifications that you got this job in 1987, we don't think you're qualified to hold this job because we need more people. And based on the EEOC repeals, we're going to have to let you go. Okay, so what happens to your house that you have on mortgage that you haven't finished paid for? What happens to your car that you have on banknote that you haven't finished paying for? What happens to your children's college fund that needs you to continue to put money in there? What happens to your retirement fund that you need to keep putting money in there? Listen to me. This is a game. You don't have the cards. Yes, we all believe in God and we have faith in God. But the writing is on the wall, and I don't think myself and other people have the vision to tell y'all what you need to do next. I don't think that is by accident. I don't think that I was put in the place that I am put in to tell you all the way from Africa. I could be minding my business. As a matter of fact, it is 8:04 a.m. I have work to do. My work day started an hour ago, and I'm sitting here running my mouth talking to y'all about what I see. Maybe it's a way for me to just get it out, but I don't think that I'm given this insight to sit on it and say, well, that's a them, man, and me, all right. I'm okay, you're not. And you are a part of me, you're a part of my blood, you're a part of my experience, you are a part of my journey. And so it is, the onus is upon me to tell you that you are not safe. You're not safe, you're not in a good place. And I gave you all the reasons why you're not safe. Your children are not safe. If they can repeal the EEOC and implement birthright and destroy birthright citizenship, they can go back and say you were never a citizen of the United States. Your grandparents were never a citizen of the United States. They can go far back as Hitler did in 1934. He can go back that far and say, well, y'all Jews, you don't belong here. You don't belong here. Okay? And you don't know where to go. Well, let me tell you, there's a big old continent with 54 countries in it with black folk that look just like you. Come here with some humility, come here with some dignity, and file you for refugee status. You are a refugee. Okay? You are persecuted. Do not wait until you no longer have a passport, because if they can take away your birthright citizenship, yeah, it means you don't have a passport. You are stateless. Do not wait for them to send you off to the gas chambers. Don't wait to end up on the plantation picking some strawberries and some cotton, because that's what they want. That's what they need. Because when they chase out all the Mexicans, they know they need the Mexicans. They know they need that labor force. They know they need them on construction sites. They know they need them to do all that stuff. When they chase them out, what do you think they're going to replace that labor force with? Where are they going to come from? You think it's Becky? You think it's Becky and Tom? No, Becky and Tom is sitting at home with 3 degrees trying to figure out why they can't get a job. So they went and dismantled the EEOC because they need to push you out of those jobs and put Becky and Tom in. They think they're going to reverse everything that was done that made America what it is. That's what they want to do. But God is in control of all things. I have said all I think I can say. I think I've said all I should say. Like and share if you're seeing me for the first time. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe because I don't often talk all this stuff that I'm saying, but I need to say it. I need to say it so you can see where this is going and you can understand your place in this. I do have a place called the Exodus House that I've been doing transitions for people and resettling people in Tanzania. But I don't think a lot of people really got their skills and are prepared for Africa. And I got an email from a young lady who she would like to leave the United States. So for those of you who you can't leave, but you want to sponsor somebody to get the hell on out, email me and I'll connect you to the people who want to go. But you're a refugee. If I were you, I would find the Brazilian consulate, the Congolese consulate, the Nigerian consulate, the Ghanaian consulate. I would go and apply for refugee status. I would get the hell out of the country and go and apply for refugee status. You're in danger. You're in danger. You are not safe. You are not safe by any indications and markers of safety and by any reflections through 1934 Germany that I just took you through. You're not safe. Okay? So starting a business is the answer. But you're not safe. You need to start a business in a place that will treat you respectfully. Okay, so go figure something out. If you have if you have okay, so I've said all I had to say. It's 8:10. I have only a few minutes before I have to jump into my workday. Go ahead and email me. My email address is here. It's also in the comment. It's ExodusAfrica1, XODUS Africa, the numeral 1 @gmail.com. For those of you who have families, who have children, who are born in the United States, those of you who your great grandparent that you can trace back was not born in the United States, you should be concerned. You should be concerned for your neighbors. You should be concerned. You should be looking up how to stop mass deportation. You should look up how to stop the things that they're trying to implement. The Mexican and the Latina people, they're leaving voluntarily because they would rather have their freedom than be incarcerated. And so you all need to, if you want to stay there, you need to start looking at your options. And if you want to leave, you need to start seriously researching what are your options. Because if they could do this in Germany, if they could go back hundreds of years and tell Jewish people that they're not Germans, and they remove birthright citizenship in SS Germany, and this is what they're doing in America. They have gone to default settings where Black people are back on the plantation. They're doing everything in place to remove every semblance of equality and opportunity. So if that's what the playbook says, you also have to have a playbook for your family. You have to know what comes next. Okay, I can't know what comes next for you. I can just warn you and tell you what to do. I could just warn you and tell you what to look out for, but I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you that I myself have options. but my options are probably not for everyone. So go and figure something out, make a plan. They've made their plan. Okay? They've made their plan. And this is serious. No president before has ever touched the EEOC, and he did it on day one. So for those of you who don't know what the EEOC, it's called the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, and what it does is it's the piece of paper that when you apply for a job, it asks you to identify who you are, your race, your background, because an employer cannot discriminate based on your race and deny you unemployment. And as a matter of fact, certain employers have quotas that they must meet to have a certain percentage of their employees as African Americans, okay, or Latina. They need to have diversity in their inclusions. And if that is removed, and that means a lot of employers who only hired people for specialization to have recognition that they're employing in diversity. If that is removed, then a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. That's number one. And so I'm also imploring employers, if anybody, by some happenstance to see or hear this message, is to hold your cards. Keep everything the way it was before the EEOC repeal. But again, Donald Trump was not elected in a vacuum. Powerful people, important people, people in positions voted for him and put him back in office. So if the majority of the country voted for him and put him back into office, then you also have to be cognizant that the majority of people who knew what they were voting for, this has met their expectations. Okay, so be on the lookout, be cognizant. Unfortunately, most African American people are in the position of employees, not employers, and a lot of people are self-employed. And but I mean, if when you have a business, who is your number one patron? Who is the number one person who is coming to support your business? If you open, as a Black person, if you open a butcher shop on Main Street in a white town, you better believe they're going to drive past your butcher shop to go to the white butcher shop, because they have that kind of mentality. And now they don't have to have any sense of guilt or shame about bypassing your business to go and support a business that is American. Okay, so it comes down to defining who is an American and who is not. It comes down to defining your right to exist and your right to have rights in the country. And anyone, if they can go all the way back, which they are doing, and they can repeal birthright citizenship, believe that they're not going to stop at the Mexicans. They're not stopping at the Caribbean people. They're not stopping at they're just not stopping at one place. Down to saying which of these parents are illegal, and they can get as fine-tuned as saying both parents have to be citizens for a child to be considered a citizen. And under doing so, they can already come back and say, well, there, Barack Obama, he was not even a citizen of the United States because his daddy was born in Kenya. And they could rewrite the history and just wipe that president ever existed. And it could go from GW to Donald Trump. Oh, no. I don't think y'all seen this movie before. I've seen it before. I've seen it before. Like I said, when I started, I had to do some research because my grandfather was a RAF World War II fighter. So I need to know what was going on in Germany and how did my grandfather ended up representing the crown of England and how did he end up being awarded land for his service and how did all these things come to be. So I'm not necessarily a fan, but that's really where my interest in research comes from. And y'all are living in 1934 Germany, welcome. Okay. Do with the information what you will. I've done my piece. Thank you so much. You have my email address. This is very, very important. Share it with as many people as you need to share it with. This is not a drill. Okay. Love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Be good to each other. Okay. Now is not the time for any kind of fighting or infighting. Now is a time for you to draw closer to your family. Now is a time for you to start advocating for each other. Now is the time for you to start getting serious about what is happening to your neighbors. Okay. And if y'all know something is happening where people are being rounded up and they ask you, do you know such and such? You don't know nothing. You never seen nothing. You never saw nothing. You don't know nothing, because when they get rid of all those Mexican people, they're going to put you back on the plantation. That's the plan. Okay. That is the #1 plan. Okay. This is very serious. Take it seriously. I love y'all. Bye-bye.